Yakumo is no schmo. The main protagonist of Ninja Gaiden 4 is one of the best controlling characters in action game history. Across 19 increasingly batshit crazy levels, Yakumo and Ryu Hayabusa lead you through a deadly gauntlet. Platinum Games and Team Ninja take a series known for fast combat and somehow make it way faster. Even the story is slightly less nonsensical than previous entries. Despite all of the high-profile departures, Platinum proves it still has what it takes to make something damned fun. It's available day one on Xbox Game Pass. This is the XboxEra review of Ninja Gaiden 4. For most of the main campaign, you will play as Yakumo of the Raven Clan. Your initial task is to take out the Dragon Priestess Sayori. She quickly gets our young lead on her side, who, instead of assassinating her, aids in an escape. The Raven Clan has a prophecy that the sacrifice of the Dragon Priestess is the only way to purify the Dark Dragon. For those new to the series, it all sounds like nonsense, and I get it. Ninja Gaiden stories have always been a bit out there. Normally, these games star Ryo Hayabusa for the most part, and don't worry, he's here in full eventually. Ryu and a group of Dark Dragon Defense Samurai do their best to prevent Yakumo from helping Sayori in their attempts at reviving and killing the dragon to end it once and for all. Did I mention the Dark Dragon is dead? Ryu killed it. Since then, its husk has floated over Tokyo, pouring down a cursed rain. No spoilers, of course, but for the first time in Ninja Gaiden history, I felt the story not only made sense, but was occasionally clever. Things weren't obvious on how they'd go. The voice acting and writing were pretty high quality, if you dig a little anime uwu ayaya occasionally. Where the game shines most is its deep, fast combat. Yakumo's journey will take him to 3 shrines, each housing a seal for the Dark Dragon. Over the course of the game, each seal will be a weapon you can use with its own upgrade path. There are 4 in totals, as you start off with your own swords, and each serves a distinct purpose. Your starting weapon is a set of twin blades. Yakumo is incredibly fast, using X for a main attack, Y for heavier moves, and the left trigger to activate his Blood Nimpo. More on that in a bit. A jumps, right trigger blocks when you just hold it, and dodges if you hit the analog stick while holding it down, and everything feels tight. By default, the game does not lock on to enemies. You can click in the right stick to lock on, an option I mainly use during boss fights. When you aren't locked on, you still get a small red reticle, which is centered on whoever you are aiming at. Ninja Gaiden 4's combat is the fastest I can remember, especially as Yakumo. Whether chopping heads off with a flying swallow attack or comboing my way to an Izuna drop, I always felt in control. Enemies can be just as fast though, clearing an entire arena in the blink of an eye. I played through the game on normal difficulty to start, replaying levels on progressively harder difficulties as both Yakumo and Ryu. Using the chapter select option, it opens up after you clear the main campaign. Ninja Gaiden 4 is as difficult a game as I can remember when on hard, and tougher than anything I've played since pre-nerf Lies of P, I mean the version before it even launched. Just standing still for a second, missing a perfect dodge, and not trying to parry led to instant deaths, even against the lowest fodder enemies. This is a game of combos, with every weapon having a dozen or more to unlock. All control the same, which made things easier to remember. Down up X, a full circle and Y, or hold left trigger while pressing right bumper and then X are all different moves on each weapon. Figuring out how Yakumo's Blood Nimpo and Ryu's Gleam attacks could combo together kept the combat fresh. Speaking of Ryu, he is an absolute monster in this game. He's damn near fully powered up and ready to push your back in at a moment's notice. The Raven Clan, they're known for their gadgets. Yakumo gets a grappling line, glider, surfboard, and more to traverse the environment. Outside of the grappling line, I won't ruin Ryu's version of this, just know that the Super Ninja, as they call him, really isn't one for toys. For every combat section, there's a traversal one to get you there. Early on, it's mostly using the grappling line to pull yourself forward across gaps or into wall runs. Eventually, things escalate with Yakumo's ability to grind the rails like the world's most talented hobo. You will need to dodge obstacles like big metal asterisks, planks of wood, and bullet trains as you sunset overdrive your way through the environment. As you progress, level up Yakumo, including completing mission assignments, they'll start to mix the traversal and combat mechanics together. To get those assignments, you will use the Raven Clan's weird, unfolding, giant touchscreen TV checkpoint system. Umi is there to sell you healing and buff items for ninja coins. While you can earn coins by killing enemies, one of the best ways to get them, usable items, and permanent health increase parts is to do missions. It's kind of a weird system that only really works once you've beaten the game and can use chapter select to go back and take your time finding exactly what you need. I had about half of the side missions in the game done by the time I rolled credits. Load times are fairly quick though, so going back to do more was easy enough. The coins can also be used with your Raven Clan trainer to buy new abilities. The other currency is your weapon experience points. As you kill enemies, you get a number. It goes up. It feels good. Using that number, you can unlock new moves in your weapons that aren't bought through the trainer. This is where a lot of your combos come into play, as you'll be unlocking the similarly controlling moves for each of Yakumo's 4 weapons. Ryu has his trusty dragon sword, and you can level it as well. And for Ryu, there are chests in the level that instead of just having the items Yakumo generally gets, there's also a mix of those items and entirely new moves, abilities, and health upgrades for Ryu. And Ninja Gaiden 4 is a pretty darn good-looking game on both Xbox Series X and on PC, as well as the Xbox Ally X, which our editor-in-chief, John, got to play on while doing his review. I split my time in half between Xbox Series X in performance mode and at a maxed out 4K everything locked 120 on PC. There is a 120 FPS mode on Series X, but it's very fuzzy, as you would expect. If you're on a 1080p screen, maybe it's fine. Platinum is one of the handful of studios that have avoided just using Unreal Engine every time as a default. The Platinum engine gets some nice upgrade here, still maintaining a high level of quality in character models, very steady frame rates, and occasionally fantastic looking environments without forcing on that very heavy reconstruction techniques that Unreal kind of requires nowadays. Even during major boss fights, of which there are many, I never had my Xbox or PC struggle to keep the frames coming steadily. Those bosses are pretty darn fun, by the way. They're not too long, so if you figure out a good way to go after them, you can kill mother jumpers pretty quick. And if you are struggling on a boss, your trainer will slowly fill up your health items every time you die, which keeps things feeling fair, because by death number 8 or 9, you have every heal you could possibly have anyways. And on PC, I was able to easily brute force the game at max settings on a 7900 XTX and 5800X GPU-CPU combo. When I look at the footage differences between Xbox and PC, I don't know that many would even really notice it between 60. It's definitely cleaner on PC, but a lot of the settings aren't too low on console. The biggest bonus for me on stronger hardware is how fluid it feels at a higher frame rate. Series X holds up for a 5-year-old machine. Series S-wise, I tried it a little bit, but what I played, while it looked a lot fuzzier, still held up pretty damn well. And Ninja Gaiden is known for having bad stories, but being really cool so no one cares. This 4th installment in the series story is good. Not great. Nothing groundbreaking, but it's a plot that's fairly standard in a lot of ways, though it does have some surprises. Sure, a lot of things happen simply because of in-world magic making it so, but I mean, that's the series. The presentation is mature, and the voice acting is routinely really good. Yakumo's super emo with a voice I shouldn't like, but he is so short in his phrasing that it was never, pushed. There's no whining. Only my duty as a Raven Clan ninja. A character I thought I was sure to dislike, I ended up being one I enjoyed playing as much as Ryu himself. And the supporting cast can be a little hit or miss, with the nerdy tech guy getting on my nerves a few times, but he doesn't talk a ton though, so it was fine. Sayori, she was the biggest surprise, despite the initial incredibly cleavaged appearances, she turned out to be a nuanced, deep character with a really well done job by her English VO. Ryu kinda sounds like a dude from California, but I don't think that's new. And the music, a staple for Platinum games, does not disappoint. There are epic rock ballads interspersed with sweeping orchestral tracks that get the blood pumping during the game's incredibly gory combat. Chopping apart humans, fiends, and demons as a guitar is wailing will never get old. Boss fights even have voice tracks, which somehow avoid being obnoxious despite how cheesy they should be. And as stated previously, I jump between Xbox and PC constantly while playing, and the Play Anywhere system worked flawlessly as my saves were pretty much always ready to go. One time I even tried quick resuming and it said, "Nah, we need a restart to get your PC save. It just works." If I have one complaint, and it may be because of how non-stop I played it, the title can feel a little repetitive if you don't do the work to mix up the combat. My mission time said 6.5 hours, though my save file actually said roughly 12 after the final credits when the boss died. Our own John Clark has played the game on the Xbox Ally X. Here is what he has to say about its performance.
Ninja Gaiden 4 runs incredibly well on the new ROG Xbox Ally X, resulting in a seriously compelling gameplay experience for the new handheld, and honestly, a perfectly great way to indulge in some dismembering on the go. Bear in mind, you're looking at direct capture from the ROG Xbox Ally X here, running at 1080p high settings with FSR on and set to prioritise performance. At the time of Jesse's review, I've played the majority of my time with Ninja Gaiden 4 on the Ally, and I can't say I'm anything other than impressed. On the 13-watt silent mode, the game sits anywhere between 30 to 40 FPS most of the time, and never really dips below that so far. I'm pretty sure you could get this to improve by lowering the game's visuals to medium or low should you wish. On the 17-watt performance mode, the game sits at around 40 to 50 FPS, and thanks to the VRR screen on the Xbox Ally X, is probably my preferred setting between battery life and performance. It feels super responsive, and I never really felt like the game was struggling or unpleasant to play at all. Bumping things up to the 25-watt turbo mode results in a range of around 45 to 58 FPS, and again just feels great to play. I don't feel there's a huge enough improvement between this and the performance mode, but that's really up to you. If it's 60 FPS or nothing for you with Ninja Gaiden 4, this is absolutely possible. Drop the graphics settings to medium, and even on the 17-watt performance mode, you'll see yourself hitting 60 FPS most of the time. Playing on the Xbox Ally X is a great way to enjoy Ninja Gaiden 4. The only downside is some of the design choices of the developer, with iconography and some UI elements appearing very small on that 7-inch screen and being quite hard to distinguish. And that's with the HUD set to extra large. Other than that, I've got no complaints.
Wrapping things up, Ninja Gaiden 4 revives the decade-plus-old dormant franchise with a new developer leading it into an insanely fast new direction. It's fun, occasionally gorgeous, and it's actually not a terrible story. Perhaps a first for the series. It is, of course, available day one in Xbox Game Pass, and it is well worth checking out if you are looking to chop a few thousand bad guys in half.